Hey, what's up, you guys? MCLegoboy here with an overview of the planet sets. So, all this video really is just kind of my opinion of the planet sets as a whole, kind of what it means to me that there won't be any more anytime soon, and some ideas that I had for planet sets and, things related to that. So, anyway, let's go over the planet sets, all 4 series. So, in my opinion, I think that the planet sets were a great idea. It was a nice little collectible thing to get collectors like myself, or at least people that would be interested in collecting little inexpensive things. So, yeah, like, it got me hooked. So, and also, it's like, as soon as you saw Series 1 on these first 3 sets, it was like, oh, cool, there's going to be a whole bunch of these. We're going to get this and that and that. Well, yes and no. So, yeah. But Series 1 came out with the Naboo Starfighter, a pilot, and Naboo. Then there was Sebulba's Pod Racer with Sebulba and Tatooine. And then there was the top-notch set for that series, the TIE Interceptor with the TIE Fighter pilot and the Death Star. And the reason why this one topped was because it was a TIE Fighter type ship, and it was a Death Star, like totally unique. Out of all of the planets, it was the most unique because it actually had its own separate molds, even just for the Death Star, which was awesome. And then the next one in line was for the best price per parts was Sebulba's, because it had the most usable pieces, like a bunch of nice orange pieces in that set. And it really kind of set the tone. I was like, okay, cool, we'll be getting a mix of both prequel and original trilogy type sets. And I think that given that it was 2012, 2 episode 1 sets made sense. So, yeah, and like you got a minifigure that was in a fairly expensive set. You got a minifigure that wasn't going to be coming out anytime soon in another set, and then you got an updated TIE Fighter pilot, which eventually came in sets, or was in a set that same year. Moving on to Series 2, it was totally different because this time it was 3 original trilogy sets. You got 2 figures that you probably weren't ever going to be getting anytime soon, and the planets were really, really cool because unlike Series 1, Series 2 came with the whole meshed planets. So in this one you had the X-Wing fighter with the pilot and Yavin 4. Then you had the Twin Cloud car with Lobot and Bespin. And then you had the ATST with the ATST driver with the Forest Moon of Endor. So, definitely, Series 2 came out with the best planets. Out of all of these, it came out with the best planets because they were the most usable. With the Death Star set, you had to get 2 of in order to use that piece without it just being a Death Star type thing. But I've seen people use these 2 domes for a whole bunch of things. I still have not taken pictures of it, but I was able to make a bomb out of the green one, and the tan one I used for a bun for a fast food restaurant. like the building was shaped like a hamburger, and that was the top bun. So definitely cool. This one was the most accurate ship design, I think. Like, both of those were pretty decent, but this one was cooler because it had more pieces. But this one was also worth buying because it had all the orange pieces, and very weird, rare orange pieces. Now, I'm not too happy about the Twin Cloud car because it wasn't red. We seriously need to get, like, a dark red and orange mix or something like that, because that's the color of those things. And it looks so weird in orange. Seriously, if the set version of that came out in 2002 looks so much better in red. And then this guy, he needed some modifying. It wasn't the best series. I think Series 1 still kind of came out just barely on top with the Death Star and the 2 usable sets. I mean, these 2 were good. And I don't know, I like kind of tie at the same time. I don't know. But then you got to Series 3. Now, Series 3, that's whenever things started to go downhill, I think, in sales, because Series 2 was not the biggest hit. Everybody got Series 1 and was like, oh, these are really cool. And then they saw Series 2 and were like, I'll pass up on it. Well, Series 3, like the first days that they're on shelves, I mean, they really do kind of sell out. But I had to end up going to Target in order to just get this one. So, kind of carrying a weird little pattern, there were 2 prequel sets and an original trilogy set. 2 prequels and an original trilogy. Coincidence? I don't know. But this time, with it being 2013, they were really focusing in on Episode 2 sets, because the 3D movie was supposed to be coming out, and I don't think it ever actually did. And if it did, it was in very, very, very limited theaters. But Lucasfilm was in the process, before they got bought by Disney, to release every Star Wars episode in 3D. And so Episode 2 sets were coming out because of that. And it had been over 10 years since Episode 2 sets had been released, or like right at 10 years when Episode 2 sets were being released. So, in this one, you got the Delta 7 Light Interceptor with R4P17, who I think has female programming. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure you refer to R4 as a she. And then you got Camino. Then you got the Republic Assault Cruiser ship thing. I don't know why they made this. Seriously, they should have gone with a Venator. But I can understand why they went with this ship. And it came with a Clone Trooper and Coruscant. And then you got the TIE Bomber with the Bomber Pilot, which was slightly different than the TIE Fighter Pilot, although really they're the same. And the Asteroid Field, which was very, very cool because it was another really unique way of doing things, and it also sparked some controversy. And the main reason was because it technically wasn't a planet. Ooh, big whoop, you guys. I thought that was the coolest thing ever, that they made this asteroid field thing. I mean, they did a Death Star. Like, nobody gave Lego a whole bunch of crap about it being the Death Star, because it's the Death Star. I mean, it even came with, like, the little trench that is going around. I mean, come on, you guys, that's awesome. But you're gonna, like, lose... I mean, like, I so want to say bad words right now, but I'm not going to, because I try to make my channel family-friendly. But, like, everybody, for some reason, just, like, lost it whenever they saw that it was the asteroid field and it wasn't a planet. And it was like, they could have gone with, like, the giant asteroid that had the worm on it, but why? Why not just do, like, the entire field? It looks awesome. So, yeah. But out of this one, definitely these two were the best. This one was just kind of it was there. Like, seriously, you only saw this ship once. Like, very, very limited viewing of this thing. I mean, like, you see it at the very end of episode 2. It's not all that exciting. Now, I mean, twin cloud cars, they're not very exciting either because you don't see them hardly ever, but they do shoot the Millennium Falcon, so credit where credit is due, man. We never even got to see these things until episode 3. We ended up seeing, like, Venators, actually, like, the bigger version with the 2 bridges and everything, so. But, and then it was another, like, really small fighter, too, because look at the size of that windscreen. Very cool. And it came with the first, like, really usable printed piece, the Republic cog on a 1x1 tile, and that's whenever the 1x1 tile was introduced. That was 2013, so really cool. And I've used the Republic cog for little, very, very micro TIE fighters. I've made a micro TIE fighter and a micro TIE interceptor, and they look awesome for the windscreens on TIE fighters. But then we got this dude. This thing, it trumped all the others before it because it was the TIE bomber, and at least in my opinion, it trumped all the others because it used the new conical droid heads. It used these pieces. It was a bomber. It came with other pieces that, like, I'd never seen before. Like, really awesome. And I'm still waiting for them to remake the TIE bomber so I can get one of those things as a larger version, because I still want that old one that's from 2002, I think, or 2003, that, like, you know, back in the day whenever TIE fighters had blue on them. I like that they're being accurate with the gray, but the blue just stood out and it was cool. And then we got to Series 4, and because sales were just slowly dipping, the LEGO group made the worst move, in my opinion. They decided not to release Series 4 in the US. It's like, just don't ship as many over here or something. Like, just give us some. Because now I just paid double to get these guys. Now, in my opinion, these two are just awesome. I mean, you can go watch my reviews on all of these and hear my opinions on each and every one. But, I mean, this guy, he takes it. So, Series 4 came with the Snowspeeder pilot and Hoth, the B-Wing, the Starfighter, the B-Wing pilot, and the actual planet of Endor, the gaseous mass that floats around in space that this little thing is orbiting around. And then you got the Tantive 4 with the Rebel Trooper and Alderaan. And, you know, I'm pretty sure that, like, this one is definitely the best out of all of these. Like, ship and planet. Because Alderaan is just, it's another one of those super iconic things. I mean, the Death Star, I'm not going to count as a planet. And the only reason why is because it doesn't keep the same mold. It is its own separate thing. I mean, it's got so much detail on it. Like, you can run your finger across and feel all the bumps and everything. It's really awesome. But as a planet, I think that Alderaan takes it because it looks just like Alderaan. And Alderaan is one of those things that, like, it blew up. Like, spoiler alert, you guys. But, I mean, like, the thing got blown to bits by that. And this dude, he was only in Star Wars, like, very shortly. You got to see other versions of him in other episodes and, like, different models and stuff like that. But still, like, it was the opening ship R4 Star Wars. I mean, come on. You gotta give this one credit. This one I give for being probably the most playability out of, like, the X-Wing. You can close the fighters and the wings. You can do the whole S-foil maneuver and stuff like that. But this, I mean, like, the wings close and you can do the whole gyroscoping thing. Totally awesome. And the minifigures, like, with each year progressing, they got better and better because they got more detail added on. We'd never gotten an R4 droid before. We'd never gotten a re-release of Lobot in the flesh color. We'd never gotten an AT-ST driver since 2007. Not not the biggest thing in the world, but you know. And then just like the added detail that's on this snowtrooper, the snowspeeder's pilot and the B-wing pilot, which now are in their own sets from 2014, and probably in even more updated versions, but still, like, I don't know, I feel like the Planet series could have gone on to do even more. And that's what I'm going to talk about next. So, unfortunately, with the finale of the Planet sets, the microfighters have now been introduced. I still need to get them because I decided to get that X-Wing. Like, I'm hating myself. But I mean, that X-Wing, like, it's cute, and it was a fun build, but I don't feel like it's necessary. I feel like they could have done more of these. Now, these definitely take up more space than the microfighters, but you can also take apart the sets and stick them all in the planets, and then space consolidated right there. But, I mean, these were accurate and to scale and proportion type sets that worked, in my opinion. The microfighters, they're just things for kids to say that they've got sets. I mean, like, they're re-releasing some sets that haven't been released since 1999, like the AAT, like that thing. And, like, nobody's gonna have that anymore for a cheap price, and not anytime soon, I don't think, unless they remake it. And I think they actually are. Yeah, they are. They are. In 2015, they're actually re-releasing it. But it looks terrible, in my opinion, because it doesn't look anything like it. Or it doesn't look right, anyway. But, yeah, like, I don't feel like they really finished with the Planet sets. There are so many other things that we could have had. We could have had Mustafar. We could have had Felucia. We could have had Rhodia. We could have had Ryloth. We could have had Onderon. We could have had Umbara. We could have had the planet that they landed on in Jedi Crash with all the little lemur people. Because, I mean, what would have been that model? It would have been a defoliator tank and probably Lot Dud. Oh my. So, I mean, like, they're right there. I mean, that's 7 sets. I mean, oh, and Geonosis. I would have loved to have seen them do something with Geonosis to find a way to make the rings on it. That would have been, like, awesome. And we got to think of one more planet. Oh man, dude, we got to think of one more. Oh, and Dagobah. Now, Dagobah, I can't really think of anything that you could put on there other than, like, another X-Wing. I guess you could, because there was a deleted scene, and probably at some point they re-released episode 3, and this scene is actually in it, but Yoda, it could have been his hut, actually. I would have been cool with that. Or that the red Yavin planet thing. That would have been cool too, because then you could have had a Y-wing. But yeah, like out of that, you could have had 3 more series of planet sets. The microfighters, they're releasing 6 of those all at one time. And maybe it's like just for the entire year. I'm pretty sure it is just for the entire year. And it's not going to be a 6-month thing. But it is kind of annoying because like I would want to get all of them right away. Well, now I'm spending $60. With these guys, I just had to spend $35. That's like including tax. And that's not including tax for the microfighters. The microfighters, you're probably going to be paying almost $80. So, I mean, I would rather pay $35 every 6 months, plus, like bigger sets, than pay $60 and other big sets throughout the year. Because, I don't know, I feel like the microfighters, I don't feel like they would last. They're not as special, I guess. These guys, I mean, like, you've got 3 things out of it. The microfighters, you only get 2 things out of it, and one of those things is not always all that great. Now, I mean, not all of these are perfect either. I'm not saying that. The Snowspeeder is not great. It is good. It's just not as good as it could be. This Republic cruiser thing, the Republic assault ship, that's what this freaking thing is called. No, seriously, it's not that great. And I could complain about the Cloud Car more, but I already said that. But like Umbara, you could have had like a micro version of the Umbaran fighter with Geonosis. You could have had a Geonosis fighter with well, I already mentioned the defoliator cannon. There's also we never got an A-wing at any point. Now, I mean, that's going to be hard to do because you've already kind of covered both Endor locations. But Felucia, like, you could have done an AT-AT, or not an AT-AT, an ATTE with Onderon. I don't know, what would you have had to do with Onderon? Oh, you could have done a droid gunship. That would have been really cool because that would have been like the first sentient ship thing, but also come with like a minifigure, like a commando droid. Or a tactical droid, like the super tactical droid, or something like that. There are a whole bunch of things that they didn't do, and I think it would have been cool to have gotten even more planets. Like, seriously, I want to know if they could have ever done anything that could have made Geonosis have its rings, because that would have been cool. Or, like, Geonosis, it could have come with a Slave 1 and Boba Fett. Like, young Boba Fett or Jango Fett. I mean, I'm not picky. What else could there have been out of the things that I mentioned? Because I didn't write them down. I was just kind of letting them spill out. Oh, no, actually, like, with Felucia, you could have also had, like, an AT-OT. That would have been cool. Florum. We never mentioned Florum. But Florum, like, totally put in that pirate thing. Like, if they had included Clone Wars into all of this, that would have been awesome. Because I would totally go for a Weequay UFO. Because the Weequays, they're awesome. I love Hondo. He is, like, he's my guy. I don't know what other sets would there have been. Well, there could have been, you could have done Iago and done the Twilight, because that was like the starship in that. And I'm sure there's got to be like other things that there could have been. And I like these little mini models because it wasn't just like the mini sets that we had gotten before. It came with a minifigure and it came with a planet. These were things that you were supposed to display as little things that you would have at your desk at work or something like that. Like, say you're a Lego geek like me, but not like me. You have a job and you're stuck doing computer work, like you're in a little box all the time in a little cubicle. You could have totally had like this set or that set or this guy right there. Yeah, man, this one. You could have had that at your desk and people would say, oh, hey, that's really cool. Where'd you get that? Or something. Or, hey, did you make that? Or whatever, you know, something cool. Because, I mean, these planets, they're awesome. And because of these planet pieces being made and they're printing all over these things, I would love to see them use them in some other set. Like, say we got another Hoth set. Like, we need another Hoth set. But say we did. How would you make the ion cannon from that thing? I mean, sure, it would be, like, terribly out of scale, but you would have one. There's the Optipara droids. Seriously? Right here. You could totally make it work. So why don't they? Because, I mean, these pieces now exist. Like, aside from the Death Star and being stuck with it looking like the Death Star, all these other things, they all came in different colors. They're all able to be used. I mean, you have sand green. Like, if you were to remove all the printing, you'd have sand green, you'd have, like, dark flesh, you'd have olive, you'd have azure type color, you'd have dark bluish gray, you'd have black, white, medium blue, and another dark azure one, or whatever color that is. I think we've determined that it's ADU blue, Alien Defense Unit from Alien Attack or Quest or whatever it is. Alien Conquest, that's what it's called. And I lost my train of thought, and the reason why is because the battery pack died on me. But I did remember another planet that we could have gone to. We could have gotten Dathomir, and what would have been the ship for that? It would have been Asajj Ventress's fan ship. That would have been cool, because we've already determined how to get something like this on the display. It wouldn't be hard to make the fan ship do that same sort of thing. So, I don't know, I feel like opportunity missed. And I don't know why these didn't really sell so well. Maybe it's because of space issues. I'm not really sure. Or maybe just people didn't like the sets. I don't know why I liked them. Explain the mystery as to why Aqua Raiders was only a 1-year type thing and not a continuing thing like Mars Mission was. I thought Aqua Raiders was awesome. Now, I mean, I've taken the sets apart because I need the space for my ongoing Star Wars conquest, I guess, because it's now spilling over into my room. And if you guys did not know, being an only child and having an extra room in the house, and my dad being awesome, he's like, here, have this room. You can totally, like, put up all the shelves and everything. But now that's starting to spill over into my room. And, you know. But, yeah, I think that is really kind of all that I can think of to say about these things. I think that the planet sets were a great idea, considering that when they came out, they were better than how the battle packs were doing. So yeah, and also, oh, I think I remember now. The whole idea of the molds for the planet sets still being used. Like, at some point, there will be an anniversary of, like, the moon landing. You could totally make an Earth, and you could totally make a moon, and you could make a Saturn V rocket ship, and you could have all three of the of the astronauts. Oh man. So I mean, there are ideas out there that you could use these things for, like I already mentioned with the ion cannon and the Optpara droid. I don't know. I feel like there are other things that these could be used for. So, you know. But yeah, I'm kind of sad that like the Planet series is over and was replaced with the microfighters, seeing as they're not overly great. And I don't know, maybe they were really popular at all the conventions that the very first few ones that were made were in, but also they're making a very limited amount of those. And I'll be honest, like, if I went to a convention and they were giving out these little free Lego things, I would totally pick it up because I'm a Lego geek and I'm a Star Wars geek. And so, like, Star Wars fans and Lego fans would have totally, like, just gone all crazy for those. That doesn't mean that you're going to sell a whole bunch of them and that those sales are going to be anywhere near where you actually want them to be, because you're giving these away at a convention where everything is desirable. I mean, like, even the, like, ticket is desirable, or at least because, you know, it's a convention. It's something that's meaningful. So, I don't know. So, yeah, I don't really hate the microfighters. I'm just kind of disappointed that the planet sets being handled as they were in the end, and that we didn't get to see as many things as we maybe could have. So I'm not sure what the next video will be. Maybe it will be a review of Rebels. I'm not sure. But yeah, this has been MCLegoboy with the Lego Star Wars Planet series. Planet sets, all 4 series. I fail at concluding videos, so I will just say, this has been MCLegoboy. See ya, guys.